This is gonna be part 2 to my GATE experience. Again, I have to say it, this is for entertainment purposes only. I had to say that. Also, I had no recollection of these memories until I saw like the videos and the recordings and stuff. And then it started coming back to me, so I want to share this with whoever. And if you do see this video and you went through a similar thing, please comment down below and let me know how it was in your state or how it was for you. So I'm gonna recap on the first video I made before I get into this one. So it started in the first grade. I was in a class by the playground, like way in the back of the school. And then like sometime in the middle of the year somewhere, they moved me to a different classroom, but this classroom was only with a handful of kids. Like I think it was like 12 or 15 or something like that. This room was all blue, like a dark blue color. There's no windows in this classroom. I remember one chalkboard and 2 bookshelves, maybe 3, but maybe one was just elongated, but 2. There were desks in there. There was one big table and I think like 10 small tables. There was a teacher and 2 people in there. I'm not too sure if they worked there or not. They didn't look like teachers. So yes, the test would start. So every day a man would come in, or he was there, or it was one of the men there. I'm not too sure. He would come in with a briefcase and he would open the briefcase on the table, and it would have a recorder in it. And attached to this recorder was a pair of like headphones, like gray headphones, like 6 around the table basically. So I guess 6 people at a time. And it was, of course, it was like, I guess, hearing tests or something, but mainly it was frequency, like listen to the frequency and tell me what you hear, or raise your hand every time you hear these tones or something. And then after that, they would give us like puzzle tests. They would lay colorful blocks, like little squares and stuff in front of us to see if we can put it together, how fast we can put it together. And I guess it made some kind of shape or figure once it's put together. I'm not sure how that works. And then they would give us paperwork, but for writing, but it wouldn't be normal paperwork. It would just say weird things like, if this happened, how would you do it? And you know, what would you do to get it done, kind of thing. And of course, this is going to be a side note. At that time in my household, there was some traumatic things happening. I don't want to get into that now, but I think it boosted my studies, or ESP if you want to say it, in the program, because I think I excelled in it. I'll explain why in a minute. So why the things were happening at school and then at home as well. Sorry, a car alarm just went off. That's when the dreams and the sleepwalking would happen. And it's not like regular sleepwalking either. Like getting out of bed and actually walking down the street kind of thing. I remember waking up and I was down the street. I don't know how I got there, and I got so scared I ran home. But when I got home, all my toenails were missing. Like they were missing. So it was about like 2 weeks where it was really hard to put on shoes. Anyways, after that program I was doing, I did it for some time, like 1 or 2 years. Then I found this peculiar, because they sent me by what I said before is actually my grandparents lived right across the street from the school. I say I lived there because I like being around my grandparents, so most likely I liked staying with my grandparents. And also it was right across the street from school, so I just walked there every day, right? And after I did that for some time, I found it peculiar because they sent me to a school right across town, like over the bridge. This school was nowhere near where my house was. That school is still there today. It's a good school. It's a really good school. That's where they put me in a quote-unquote like special ed education program. But that's some of the best years of my life because I did meet my friends there, and I'm thankful for that. However, that is where I met Pam. This is why I think I stuck out in the program, and I don't know if I excelled in the program or they were just watching me heavily. Because when I met Pam, Pam was a lady like about in her mid 40s, I guess, uh, early 50s. She would always freak me out because she would come in, she would always be dressed nice, kind of like someone in the government or something. She might have not been, she probably just like dressing nice. But it would always freak me, like I would always notice when I seen her, it's like not in a bad way, because she would always come in with like a pulling briefcase, you know, the ones you pull on the ground. She would always have this coconut haircut going on, so it was like if you watch Ned Declassified, it was kind of like that. It was a little longer, but it was kind of like that. Her eyes were very like intense. Like every time, I mean, she was a sweet lady though. Like she was very nice. But it's just like there was an intensity about her kind of thing. And then me and Pam would take me to the back of the class or the front of class, wherever the class was organized that day, and we would do quote unquote work on her laptop, which they said it was for my writing, which we did some write. Again, I don't know what we were writing, I just remembered that it was just kind of awkward. Then afterwards, she would let me play like games on her laptop, but they weren't regular games, they were like puzzle games or something. I don't know if that's all she had on her laptop or I meant to do puzzles. Well, anyways, this every time you did these games, she, or rather the program itself, would score you. I can't totally remember that. I just remember there was a scoring system, which is also weird because this was supposed to be like classwork, or what she told me, for my writing. But every time we would sit in the back of the class or the front of the class, it was like uh, we were excluded from the class. We weren't even listening to the class. And then as time went on and I continued seeing Pam, she would have these headphones. Of course, it would be connected to a computer. So it was the same headphones, but different, like, and not on a recorder on her laptop. Same frequency, same recording that I heard first time. Anyways, this went on for some time, and then my class was okay, but it got kind of weird. So we would have this library that we would go to in the school, of course. But when we go, my friends were told to pick out these books. Some of them were like adult books, like not in that way, but like adult reading books. Some of them were joke books, and I found this peculiar because it stuck out from the other books. Those are the kind of books I would get to read in class, right? This is also why I think I stuck out, because when everybody was reading these books in class, they would just see me reading these joke books, and I would just be laughing and laughing, like I would just be sticking out. Then after that day, then me and my interactions with Pam increased, so it went from 2 times a week to like 3 or 4 times. And then after that is another class thing where they, like, once or twice a week, they would send us to a different class. It was a quote unquote science class, and that is all my class, so like all 12 people. Some people we didn't get along with, some people we did in the other class, but the goal was the same, to make these quote unquote science project. But that's gonna do it for this video. I'm most likely gonna make another, but this is almost 10 minutes long. I didn't want it to be this long, but I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say. With that said, like, share, subscribe, share it to other people. If something happened to you like this, please comment down below. And with that said, like, share, subscribe, and bye.